News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. President Trump says he has signed the memorandum of understanding with Iran and that the Strait of Hormuz will be open this week.
I'm very happy to say very signed, the deal's all signed, and the strait is already partially opened. As you know, they're doing a little hunting for a couple of mines that they've already found. But it's essentially ships are starting to go out now. On Friday, it'll be completely opened.
President Trump in France alongside French President Emmanuel Macron. A senior U.S. official says traffic in the Strait of Hormuz will see a significant increase in 1 to 2 weeks and that the flow of traffic will take some time to improve because there are mines in the strait. Details of the memorandum of understanding should be released within 24 to 48 hours and reportedly includes $300 billion in funds to help rebuild Iran. Officials say technical talks are set to begin later this week. Now, the deal between the U.S. and Iran is set to be formally signed on June 19th in Switzerland, although neither side has released a text. Bloomberg's Abir Abu Omar has more from Dubai.
What we know about the exact interim deal, as we've been calling it, is it will ensue the immediate reopening of the Strait of Hormuz that's been effectively shut essentially since late February, and then it will be followed by a 60-day period where more technical negotiations are going to take place with the goal of discussing Iran's nuclear program.
The signing of the memorandum of understanding may lead to ships having free passage through the Hormuz Strait, but oil traders and analysts are still cautious. They note the deal is fragile and that reaching a final deal will be complex and challenging. Israel has already said it is not in favor of this. Stocks did climb around the world, joining gains in bonds as oil slumped. We check markets for you all day long here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 is up nearly 2%. NASDAQ up more than 3%. The Dow up about 1.5%, and the Russell 2000 index up 1.3%. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.45%. The 2-year yield at 4.04%. WTI crude oil down more than 5.5%, now around $80 a barrel, and Brent crude down more than 5%, around $83 a barrel. President Trump is in Evian, France, where world leaders are gathering for the G7 summit, where they are likely to discuss this deal. Bloomberg chief Europe correspondent Oliver Crook says they may also look at ways to get involved.
We know that it could involve a sort of demining mission that the French and the UK have said that they would sort of put forward. But you should also remember that the Europeans are involved in the sanctions regime against Iran. And we heard from the E3, these are the leaders of Germany, UK, France, and Italy, saying that actually they'll be open to putting down some of their own sanctions in accordance with this deal.
Bloomberg's Oliver Crook. French President Emmanuel Macron will seek to persuade President Trump to continue supporting Ukraine. President Trump says he spoke with Ukraine and Russian leadership
yesterday with President Zelensky and President Putin, and I see maybe we can do something there. I really do. I think they're both open to it. So now that this is finished.
President Trump in France. SpaceX shares jumped in their second day of trading, adding to gains following its blockbuster debut. A solid first-day performance for SpaceX helped pave the way for the potential IPOs from Anthropic and OpenAI. Shares of SpaceX now 11% higher, about $179 per share. Sources tell Bloomberg NVIDIA is seeking to raise at least $20 billion from its first corporate bond sale since 2021. More on that with Bloomberg's Ed Ludlow.
Yeah, there is a question, though, of why a company so flush with cash needs to do this. I mean, our reporting is that they'll use it for sort of general corporate purposes, refinancing existing debt.
Bloomberg's Ed Ludlow. The deal is extending a relentless wave of borrowing for companies spearheading the AI boom. NVIDIA shares now 3.5% higher. Salesforce has agreed to buy Fin, a firm that develops AI-powered customer agents, for about $3.6 billion. Shares of Salesforce up nearly 1.5%. Fiserv CEO Michael Lyons is leaving that company. He'll take the top job at Truist Financial. Shares of Fiserv dropped 9%. Fox has agreed to buy Roku in a deal valued at about $22 billion, including debt. The move creates a new television juggernaut and marks a big push into ad-supported streaming. Roku shares down less than 1%. The Supreme Court has declined to put new limits on President Trump's tariff authority, leaving in place import taxes imposed during his first term on hundreds of billions of dollars in goods from China. Turning away an appeal by a group of importers, the High Court, without comment, let stand a 2025 federal appeals court decision that upholds those duties. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris, and this is Bloomberg.